Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This will be Alex build, the new with using the new stuff from the patch that you guys love when I do the new stuff. So take note of the deck here if you want to pause the video. Now this is not the final version of the deck. I don't know, it's just a variation if you guys want to use that. But definitely I would not mess with any of the other cards there. Yeah, this is not the final version, okay? But it's just something you can use here if you want. You can use those cards there, they work, but as you go along the videos here in the match, you see that I'll change to different variations that I believe they work best. So this was like the first iteration that I made with the build, the first match you see here, and then I was kind of crafting it a little more, polishing it to what I achieved at the final match you see in the video, which was probably against the hardest team out of all this video. It was probably the last match was the hardest team. But still, with this build, no one has ever reached Area 3 so far, so I really cannot tell how effective. I mean, I know it would be even better on Area 3 because of that mod that makes the traps explode instantly, but I never got to Area 3, so I don't know. I don't actually know. I never had to use it, but it's just there, and I'm sure it would be even stronger once you get there. So I was playing the builds as we go along, okay, guys, so don't worry, there's plenty of matches we can talk over here. I think there's like 5 matches or so, so you guys will see everything about this build. And I'll go over the passives, the equipment that I'm using. So essentially, if you didn't notice by the image of the equipment there, I'm using the two equipments for making the traps. I'm using the level 3 and level 2 equipments for making the traps set up faster. You know, when you place them on the ground, like right now, they take less time to be active. I'm using 2 for those, and I'm using 2 for actually getting more energy when when the trap hits them. Okay, so the idea is that the traps are instant, and I'm also using the Red Queen mod as you see here. And on the passive ability, the last one, instead of using the discount for the traps, I am using the passive that makes me be able to explode to activate the ES faster, you know, which is the same effect as the Red Queen mod already gives me, but with her passive on top of that. And also on the third slot, sorry, because the first slot is the bioweapon, right? And I'm using the one that makes the bioweapon recharge faster with the Watavio. And the second slot, I'm using the one where they take more damage when they are higher on infection, which is one of the new ones as well, the latest ones. And you see, this is the idea of the build, especially this one with the the air mine and the immobilizing one is really the key of the build here, because there's like 5 mines or so in this deck, and out of those 5, I think at least 3 of them are kind of traps that stuck them in place for a long time, which means you can, as they're stuck in place on the stun animation, you can place other traps on top of them. And you just keep recycling the stun, you know, and losing time, and they're also taking damage, and they'll go down eventually. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of broken actually. I would not be surprised if they fix on the upcoming patch something about this build, because it's kind of broken, honestly. There's not much counter you can do to it that I can think of, because the traps are kind of too quickly, you know, especially if you have creatures around. I don't know, you essentially have to be constantly moving, but at one point there's going to be traps out on the entire area, and you won't be able to, you know, walk around and avoid them anymore. And if you stop to shoot them, the mastermind can just place another mine next to you while you're shooting the camera or shooting the mines. Like right now, you see, Val's trying to shoot the mines. I just put another one behind her. It's so fast that she can't even react to it, and she just takes the damage anyway. And again, remember that most of the traps, they're gonna stun them in place when they hit them. So you essentially get a free second trap after it. So it's just like a cycle. And because I'm using 2 equipments for giving me bio energy when they die, sorry, when the traps hit them, it's like everything feeds itself. So it's like I use a trap, and by hitting them with the trap, I already get enough. Bio energy to use more traps. You know, it just like never ends. Everything costs 1. You notice that I'm also using the discount card. The discount card is something you will always want to have on spammy builds like this, because you see right there the equipment. Now I was thinking about changing here. But yeah, you always use the discount card because it's always good on spammy builds since you're using soul cards, you know, very rapidly, like you see me doing with the traps there. Especially if you have the discount. The fact that I gave the energy back when I use them and everything costs 1 is just so much better. So here, what I was thinking is I'm thinking about actually using the trap infection mine because it's almost an instant explosion, right? So they won't be able to avoid it. And the special card there for the mine will increase their infection much more than a zombie would, which means they're gonna take more damage because they're higher infection, right? So that ties in a lot better to my second passive that I'm using there, which increases the damage when they are, you know, the higher infection, the more damage they take from all sources, including traps. So it just made a much better like synergy with that passive when I switched to the infection mine on the special cards there instead of the triple mines. But you can also use the triple mines because they're still gonna do a lot of damage, right? Because it's triple, and it would also maybe take more time away because it can hit multiple survivors easier. You know, so I don't know. It's just they both can work. I just feel like the infection is better because it will ensure that they actually go down. You know, much more often, as you will see on the matches here. So that's the idea of the build. You see. I'm not sure the name of the equipment. I'm sorry. So you guys just pause the video. Take note of the image of the icon of the equipment if you want to copy it or whatever, and just use that on your build. But like I said, just give the description. Is the one that level 2, level 3 are the ones that make the trap activate faster when you place them, and the other two are for giving bio energy. The first one on the first slot that I was using is one that has multiple effects on it, not just the bio energy giving you back. It also has a moderate reduction of the activation. So it's essentially 3 equipment for reducing the activation time when placing on the floor, like I'm doing here of the traps. They activate faster. And one of those equipments is solely for getting bio energy back, as you see from the image there. Okay, so I think it's a total of 25 points probably, or 24, something like that. And also notice the deck. I also have, besides the discount, which kind of helps a lot, I also have the shield, because the only way they can stop this is if they shoot your camera. But if you have a shield on your hand, like at all times, like I do here, they essentially can never destroy your camera. And because you're cycling your cards so fast and easy, because of the discount and also the the discount and everything costs so cheap, so they like one cost for the cards. It's really easy to get the shield back, as soon as you use it. So it's like there's almost no counter for the survivor. So it's kind of a broken build. I would, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something about this on the patch and they fix it somehow. But as you can see from the gameplay here, now that I talk enough about the build, I can start actually explaining the gameplay a little bit more for you guys. So as you can see, like I'm using now the zombie instead of a crawler. He only costs 1, and yes, he blocks my energy, but because I get energy back from pretty much doing anything with the traps and all, it kind of doesn't, it ruins the build as much to have this 5-second no recharge of bio energy there when I use that zombie that has all the buffs for the only cost of 1. So the idea here is really use like I see here, use the way for you to have enough energy, and then use the discount. Have some energy in your pocket before you use discount. You see right there, I keep getting energy back, especially with the air. It gives me a lot of energy back every time it hits them, because it hits it multiple times with the air mine. The air mine is really the best. You can just start any kind of cycle once you have the air mine. And you notice there that I always have the shield on my hand as well, in case they try to destroy my camera. And also notice they're getting infected from the zombies that I'm placing. That's why I think it's better than the crawler as well, the 1 cost zombie there, because he's cheap, and also he will help increase the infection of the survivors, so they take more damage. And like I said, everything works together with that passive of increasing the damage. And you see, even if Martin tries to destroy the trap, he's still gonna get you can place another one right next to it, to him, while he's destroying it. And you can explode the second mine before he finishes disarming the first one. That's all both right next to each other, so it's kind of dumb as well. So even Martin cannot really counter this build very much. Another things you can change here as well is the other equipment I would change in this build is the equipment that I that I have exclusively for getting energy. The only thing it does is actually give you more energy when the trap's activated. Not the one that I said that gives you multiple effects. One of them being not just the energy, but also the activation time of the trap. It decreases. So I will only mess with the one that you can maybe increase the speed with the cable if you feel like it. But I think the red mod with the passives already enough, as you can see here. But that's something you can do as well. And you see right there the infection mine. So now two infected, they're gonna take more damage. And there goes the air one. And while they are reacting to the stun of it, I can just keep placing more and more next to them. And just keep like recycling the stun. And you see they're trying to shoot my camera. He's busy on that, shooting that trap. I place another trap on top of him while he's focusing on the other trap. When they're on doors like this as well, it's really easy to use traps because they're essentially just standing in place there. You can place behind them like you saw me do there. There's also you get the Watavia, but usually I don't really know what to do with it, honestly, because usually the traps are already enough. You see the time starts to tick away quite a lot as well from them going down and being constantly hit by the traps, which I believe take 5 seconds each, right? Which is kind of a lot, especially if it hits multiple survivors at once. When you see right there, I can spread the infection using my zombie as well, so she will take more damage, not just from the zombie itself that I'm controlling, but from the traps as well. And you see, they have to come inside here to kill the zombie, so I mean, I can just use that to my advantage and kind of set up the area there, the room. You see, like right here at this point, there's really not that much they can do. I'm trying to use the plant to block the pathway here. Martin's almost dead as well. So here, I think it's yeah, you see right there, I get the air. So now I can just start cycling the traps. You see how many traps I have on top of her? You don't even have to explode the trap, right? Like, you see right there, because they're infected, they're gonna take more damage, and because it was a high explosive mine, it essentially just demolished everyone immediately right there. And just like that's like game. That's really dumb. And you see right there, Martin was trying to disarm it, but I can explode the second mine before he finishes disarming the first one. It's just like this shark bat. I mean, there's really not much you can do against this build because everything is kind of broken. I mean, what can I say? Everything just feeds on itself. Like, you get hits, it allows you to spend more. Like, if you get more hits, you're downing them more, you're getting them infected. It's like, but the fact that you can still unlock him with the traps over and over again is what kind of breaks it, I think, for the most part. The fact that like they can get immobilized, and then while they're getting immobilized, or the area mine as well, they cannot move, but they will still get hit by other traps. So you see right here, I'm using the explosive mines again. I'm still using you see right there the equipment. If you want to pause it to see the images and whatnot. The two at the bottom there are level 3, level 2. The first two slots on the equipment there. The first slot is the one that I said that have multiple effects on it, including gaining bioenergy and also decreases the activation time of the traps. And the second one slot there of the equipment is the one that actually solely, the only thing that does is increases the energy. I think it's moderately that I'm using there. It increases the energy you get when they are hit by traps. So now we have a casino. And I mean, I mean, there's not much I can say, man. This build is just like, there's not much they can do. There's just nothing they can really do. Like, even a Jan can't do much because you have the shield on the camera, right? And it's just like really hard. I've played against a dude using a build. I don't know if he's using the exact build that I'm using here. I would imagine not. But that's how I kind of came up with this build. I saw him using these insta traps, and especially once I saw that they increased to 25, I instantly thought to myself, okay, so now Alex can do a really good trap build once they increased those 25 points, and they actually added more traps, which also immobilized them. You know, so after I was already kind of aware you can do a build like this, but once they increased the number, then I was like, okay, now I can do something. Finally, like, but you see right there, I keep hitting her over and over again. She can't even get up. She just keeps getting hit by the traps. You see, she literally got hit by every single trap that was on that area, that single vow there. And you notice they already lost like 1 minute. They start with 5, right? They already lost like 1 minute just from that Val interaction. And you see here, they're still getting hit more and more. Now, you see I already have the shield on my hand as well, so if I need to, you know, to use it. Having the crawler instead of the other zombie, the cost 1, would help you with your energy more, you know, because it's cheaper. But like I said, I don't think you need it. Like, you still have plenty of energy even though you're using that level 1 zombie that stops the energy recharge. You see right there, I'm placing traps behind on the other side of the... And just like that, Val's dead. Now, I think who was there that someone DC'd the Becca? So it's a 3v1, but I mean, either way, they really just would not, never, would ever, would not have ever, like, won this game, so... You see right there, she gets stunned. You can also use the zombies if they have zombie like that. If she's stunned on the trap like that, you can also use the zombie to, you know, to hit her. This is a high explosive one, so you know, it's like they can't really. You see right now, they were also getting up from the high explosion. I was already setting up another one, and I keep getting energy back. If you see there on my bar, every time they get hit by it. Now reviving them as well is really hard to do against this build because you can just keep placing traps while they're trying to revive each other on the floor, and they never really manage to do that. You know, like right there, they were able to revive the Jill because I tried to explode the mine, but the game actually sent me inside the zombie, so that was what kind of fucked up there. But you know, you get the picture. It's kind of like having a cooling fan. They can never revive each other on the floor because you always have something shooting at them or hitting them. You see, Martin charged its arm. I can easily blow another mine there, and you see that I exploded the high explosion one along with the one that immobilizes, and not only he got hit by the high explosive one, but the effect of the immobilizing one is still hit him right after he got hit by the big one, the big explosion. So it's like, you know, not only do you take that massive damage, but you still get stuck in place to be hit by another mine. So it's like, it's just too much. I mean, like, there's nothing they can do with it. And the energy is just like never ending, man, because you keep getting it back, which is really Alex's biggest problem with a build like this, with the spammy build like this, would be the energy. But because you now have these equipments that you can use that give you energy back, it's just, and especially when you combine the two that I'm using, it just becomes completely sustainable, you know. The energy just becomes a very, very easily sustainable. So moving on again, we have a research facility this time again. You see that Samuel? I usually play. This guy's really good. I usually play with him a few other games, and you see that it's really like there's not much the survivors can do. It's not that they're bad or anything. They're actually like very high level survivors. You know, they usually play on SWAT teams and everything. But it's just that the build itself is too strong. You know, especially if you play it right, like I'm doing here. So it just goes to show the strength of the build that, you know, it just surpasses even. It's even hard for these kind of types of players here. So I already got my my air one here, which is my favorite because it just starts everything. Now I don't have the red wave mod yet, as you can tell there, but they don't know which trap it is, right? So even though you see they kind of walked around to avoid it, but they don't know which trap it is. So if it's a high explosive mine or the air mine, and they try to go around it like that, and you explode it, it's still gonna hit them, you know, even though they're not super close to the mine. See, this is the kind of the worst thing that can happen. You place the trap, and they just kind of, you see the shield. Here comes the shield, and you see she's trying to avoid the traps, but I can just, you know, blow them. And you see she's stunned, so I can come and use another mine. She's gonna get stunned again behind the air. I can use an explosive one now. And you see she's like completely cornered by traps. She lost 15 seconds right there from those 3 mines. It's like another 15 seconds there. And you see I'm using the shield as well. And the air cannon just keeps building my energy back. The air cannon, I mean the air mine. And it's like they're losing so much time here. It's crazy. It's so fun here too. And as they get infected, they're gonna start taking more damage as well. You see, it's like they essentially lost like 3 minutes, I think, on that single single camera interaction there. And you see again, I already have the shit on my camera again because of the deck cycles so quickly. So if I wanted to, I could easily, you know, I could easily use the shield again if they start shooting at me on my cameras. No, Samuel's trying to rush here, so he's get bitten. Is a good opportunity for me to spread the infection. You see, he's infected, so he's gonna take much more damage here as well. He's gonna have to open that door. You see, that did 1,000 damage, guys. That explosive mine right there did 1,080 damage. Like, wrap your head around that. It's too much, you know. Everything just synchronizes way too well. It's kind of funny though that they just keep like getting stun locked forever like this too. I mean, I just like that game. You see, they try to revive each other, but it's really hard with these traps. Again, use the DR cannon combined with the others. There goes the Samuel again. I mean, it's kind of dumb, but it's kind of fun to do as well. It's like they literally cannot do anything because they get stun locked. You know, it's just like trap after trap. You see, like Val, she just got like thrown away and then she gets immobilized again. It's like I mean, like what can you do? You know, it's just too much. This is way too much. Like I'm saying, guys, like they gonna have to nerf this at some point. I mean, it's too broken the way it is right now. The fact that you can like, you know, recycle on the same survivor the traps over and over again is too much. They might take the stun off, the repeated stun. I don't know, something. I honestly feel like this is probably the best build in the game, the entire game, because there's like really nothing you can do as a survivor. There's pretty much no counterplay that I can really see. That's actually practical, you know. The only practical counter to this would be for you to keep running around the map. But if the mastermind, like, because if you're constantly moving, the trap really doesn't really explode fast enough that it can, you know, can follow you, so they can track you, catch up, and everything. So, but the point is that the maps are really not that wide or big sometimes, especially if you're in a room like that. So if the mastermind is good, like you see me doing here, I just don't place traps right next to each other all the time. If I notice they're trying to run away, I'll place a trap more separated from each other, you know, towards where they're going, because then they have to respect both sides now, and it's kind of like you're essentially kind of building a fence of traps around them, you know, to the point where they really have nowhere to go. It's like they have to deal with the traps, and if they stop at any moment, you can place a trap on top of them, and they'll just get blown up, and everything repeats again, you know. So it's like they are circled by traps, and if they stay still, they're still gonna get hit. So it's like if they leave, they get hit. If they stay, they get hit. If they do anything at all, they get hit. So it's like, you know, it's just too much. And I mean, yeah, it's just too much. You see again, we have level 100 guys here on the survivor team. But I mean, like I said, they can be as good as they are. They're not gonna beat the build. What I think really what really breaks the build is not so much the energy you get back, is more the stun lock. I think is really what breaks this build. The fact that you can cycle the explosions and everything. I feel like that's what breaks it the most. Because if the survivor did not get stun locked repeatedly, like for example the air cannon, the air mine followed by a high explosive one. You see, like right now she gets stunned. I can place another trap and easily hit her with it. She gets stunned again. It's like, you know, it's like stun after stun, and she's taking damage during all of this, and I'm getting back energy, and time is ticking away. Like she lost like 1 minute, almost a minute there, just on that Val. You know, it's just kind of too much. But I think the discount was a really genius move that I did on this build, because it really kind of carries it, because it makes everything cost 1, you know. And that's when it really shines the energy. If it didn't cost 1, I'm sure you kind of run out of energy eventually. Especially with that zombie giving you 5 seconds cooldown like that. if they see your or your air mines, like I saw there, you always want to. It's always best if you can yourself remotely blow the mine before they actually shoot it, especially the air mine, because it will stay there active. If you if they shoot it, it's just gonna do a like a 1 second air explosion and it's gonna stop. But if you blow it manually yourself, it's gonna stay like for at least like 4 seconds or something, like just throwing air everywhere, and they won't be able to go through the door or anything if it's blocking it, you know. And that gives you the opportunity to set more traps behind them while they're watching that thing happen. To see some, and sometimes you get survivors like this back at they're really like completely oblivious. They don't even like look forward or something, and they just get hit even easier by the traps, like if it was not already easy enough, or should I say hard enough to avoid. Again, she's tapping on one, she's gonna go straight to the other one. You saw that Jen try to hack me there. I used my shield. Now she stepped on it. Now she used the S cooldown, the S blockage here, EIS blockage here, so I can't really use my mines at this moment. But they're still like wasting a lot of time. Now the good teams, they might do like this team is doing. They're doing pretty good, right? Like they managed to rush pretty good there on area 1. They still got like 4 minutes now, so it feels like it's still like a kind of a draw on the game. But on area 2 is where it kind of gets better, because the objective, they can't really rush that much, you know. They have to like sit there and do the security devices. So that's when you can use the Watavio, you can use the traps itself to stop them from doing the key cards, especially because you can combine that with the shield, as you probably see me doing this game. And you see right there, I'm spreading the infection with the mine as well, so that I can increase the damage, and they will eventually, and make them eventually go down. You see like what I mean? She's trying to, while she's shooting, I can easily put another one on top of her. And if she doesn't shoot and she just runs back, I can do that fence trap thing that I said. I can place a trap towards where she's going. Now she has to respect both sides, you know, which forces her to kind of get squeezed in the middle, you know, to a point where I can, you know, use my place a mine on top of her, regardless if she's moving or not. So they have 4 minutes, remember guys, they had 4 minutes. They're already at 2 minutes, and they didn't even reach the door. They just now reached the door with the Yorick is. Now I'm gonna spread the infection with that mine there. Now everyone's gonna get infected. You see, I used the shield because the Jad was trying to focus on me. Now they have to revive each other. It's like I can easily place more traps on top of them as they're trying to revive each other. And it looked like that. Look at the time now, guys. It's already pretty much done. It was like 2 minutes, remember, when they got inside the door. I pretty much switched the camera twice, and it's already at like less than a minute. So you see, she got immobilized by the trap, so I'm gonna use the opportunity to eat her with the plant here. Also, notice you can grab them again, like right now. You can grab them again before they get up from the floor, when they actually save them from the Watavio, like they did there. It's kind of dumb, but yeah, it's something you can do. Now, I don't want to stick around, and I know they're trying to leave, so I'm gonna explode. As you can see, they're auto-destruct, and also giving a lot of infection to the Val there. Almost killed her as well, so that will help me later. Now, it would be good if you could, you know, but unless you have that passive where mines do not affect your own zombies or your own other traps, it would be a possibility. Because like right now, if that air mine didn't affect my zombie, I could have easily hit her, or even bitten her while she was doing the stun there. Now, it was all right there. What I did, I used the flash to stop her from hacking me. That was my idea there. I got it at the right moment, but you saw that I got to shoot again. And this is what I mean. When they're doing the security device, it's almost impossible. As long as you have the camera there, they can never do the security device. As you can see, like, you just keep stun locking the guy that's doing the security device until they die. You know, it's like there's literally nothing they can do. They have to shoot the camera. If you have 2 cameras, it's essentially like what's it called? Dispenser cooling fan build. The old cooling fan dispenser build, even better. You know, a better version of that using traps. Is what it becomes if you have two cameras looking at the security device. But yeah, guys, that's the video. I talked a lot. That was like 30 minutes video. There's plenty you can see from the builder. Have fun. This build is broken. I bet it's gonna get patched soon. And yeah, see you guys later. Take care.